Hello, hello, hello there, everyone. It's your girl Henrietta here at Everything Nonprofit A to Z Talkpreneur. We are here on January 7th. The SBA met their deadline yesterday. They got their guidelines out and rolling. Guys, there's something important happening here today. I need you guys to get your pen, paper, and all of your documents ready because depending on who you're going to file your PPP through, it's time to rock and roll. All right, so what's going on? The guidelines are out and some of the banks are ready and rolling. Now, many of the lenders, actually almost all of the lenders, are not actually ready yet. They're trying to change their portal to fit the new guidelines. And basically, yeah, the banks are a little bit faster. They're a little bit much bigger. So we're just waiting to see what happens there. But a lot of the banks are ready to go. So depending on who you bank with, go ahead and check your bank and see if they are ready to have those applications submitted. All right? All right. So moving along. Now, so what's been happening is that the most of the businesses, the rules for the governing the PPP loans have been updated, and that's part of the economic aid to hard-hit small businesses, which includes nonprofits and venues. Okay, so that act was just one section of the massive 2021 Consolidated Appropriations Act that was passed by Congress and signed into law by the President on December 27th. But we've been waiting for them to break that down. What does all of that mean? So basically what it means is that there's money in for us the second time around, okay? And with all of that said, there's money for us the second time around. They're trying their best to make sure that they treat everyone fairly and that they have strict guidelines to fight against fraud, to fight against one company, a certain company getting more than the other. So we need to do what we can to really get all of our benefits because the act really does fight for us and it really does try to make us get as much as possible. Now we're eligible this time around for about up to 2.5 times more than what we got last time. And if you didn't get anything the first time, you are also written in the act to be able to get something the second time around. So depending again on who you go. Now I like to deal with the lenders more than the banks, but a lot of people that I've helped and spoken with, they have used the banks as well. And either way, it's fine. You know, you can get quotes from different places, even though your quotes might look around the same, because they're all going to be asking for the same numbers, and they're going to crunch it, and then they're going to calculate it through their systems, right? All right. So let's go a little bit further and see what this is saying. So it says that of the $325 billion appropriated under the Act, $284.45 billion has been allocated for the PPP second draw loans. So that's a lot of money. So from $325 billion, out of all of that money, $284.45 billion has been allocated just for the PPP second round. Okay, so we're gonna get into what you have to do to get the second round. What is it that you have to give? What do you have to overcome? What hurdles you have to jump over? So let's just continue to read a little bit deeper. The PPP second draw loans are intended to target smaller and harder hit businesses. Okay, so that's when they start talking about the 25%. We'll get into that in a little bit. And the rules for the second draw loans are more restrictive to ensure the funds are provided to those businesses with the greatest needs. So let's see what else is saying. So for some of the eligibility for the second draw would be that you have under 300 employees. Okay, anywhere from 1 employee to 300 employees, you're eligible for that second draw underneath the micro. Okay, the larger companies, they have their own rules and regulations. If they have any, they don't need it. I'm just joking. I don't know. All right, so I mean, I don't know if they need it or not. That's not my determination to make. All right. So have you used the first amount? Have you used the first money that came out? Did you use all of it, or did you pinch it and then never used it all? Did you use all of it? That's very important to know, because if you didn't use all of it, then why would they give you a second round? And that money had to have been exposed by the end of the year. So you have some explaining to do on why it was not used. You know, so you really need to look into that. You do have to present financials when you go ask for the forgiveness. So it is going to reflect off of your account, if that money was used or if it was not. All right. Now, the last one is what I was talking about earlier when I said that you have to be able to demonstrate at least a 25% reduction in your gross receipts in the first, second, or third quarter of 2020 relative to the same quarter in 2019. You have to be able to show there's a 25% reduction. So let me just break that down. And I've said it before in our other videos. However, if you made more money in 2019 and in 2020 in the same quarter, now it's almost like you're weighing your two. Okay, quarter two in 2019 versus quarter two in 2020, or quarter three in 2019 versus quarter three in 2020. Okay, you're weighing the two to see if there was a 25% reduction in your gross receipts. Okay, those are your eligibilities. Now, for businesses that were not in operation in 2019, they have made some provisions for you. We'll go into that in another video, but there will be some wiggle room for you for those who were operating in 2020. Okay, and it's not going to be November 2020 you operated your business. No, it's going to be more like towards the beginning of the year in operation or so. Okay, so then we talk about loan eligibility expanded for certain nonprofit organizations that do not receive more than 15% of their revenue from lobbying. Most of us, and most lobbying comes from 501c4s, but 501c3s really do not take part in lobbying because that's illegal and it goes against your 501c3 status. But for those who are doing something like 501c4s or whatever else, if you get more than 15% from lobbying, you would not be eligible. Okay. In general, borrowers may receive a loan amount up to 2.5 times, we talked about that earlier, of the monthly payroll costs in either the 1 year prior to the second draw, loan calendar year, or 2020 or 2019. Okay, so in addition to payroll costs, covered mortgage, rent, and utility payments, the good thing about this bill, they're making it a little bit open for you to be able to cover more expenses such as property damage, cost of operations expenditures, supplier costs, worker protection expenditures. So you have many different things that you can really dip and dab your money into this time around. However, you still only allocated to still use 60% for payroll. Now that other 40%, you can go ahead and use it for those said expenditures: rent, utilities, like I said, supplier goods, property damage, operations expenditures, and so forth. Okay. What else did we cover all of that? Yes, we did. All right. So the PPP also allows the borrower to elect a covered period. So you can either do the 8 weeks or the 24 weeks. The 24 weeks to me is more beneficial. You can spread it a little bit more and be able to get much more wiggle room on making your money last a lot longer. So you get to choose. Do you want to do the 8 weeks or do you want to do the 24 weeks? And then when it comes to that forgiveness application, that 24 weeks becomes really beneficial, So we want to keep that in mind. So one of the other requirements is to make sure that you submit Form 2483 SD to your lender. Now, what happens with that form is that you're able to calculate pretty much. It's a documentation that requires to substantiate the payroll cost calculations. Okay, so basically, that's how they're going to calculate what they're going to be able to give you. So if you really look at the form, it's very, very similar to the same form that you filled out on the first round. And I looked at the form and it's basically the same questions. Okay, it's asking several things. I wish I knew how to share my screen. We'll go to the form, but that's okay. So let's go to the form a little bit. That form is asking questions about average monthly payroll. It's asking about the EIDL. So what it's doing is the average monthly payroll times 2.5 plus the EIDL, which is going to give you that amount, okay, that you're looking for. So then you're going to start checking off the payroll, the purpose of the loan. If you remember clearly, we did this the first time on the first go around. If you didn't get the PPP the first time, I'm letting you know this is something that we did the first time around. And then you start talking about ownership of the business. Is it just one ownership, or is it several ownerships? Okay, that same document will go into questions now about citizenship and ownership of the business, and as far as as well as incarceration questions. You know, are you any felonies and all of that stuff. So it's going to go into all of that. And basically, I know that has nothing to do with how much monthly payroll, but that is a required question that they ask on not only the EIDL, but as well as the PPP form as well. So like I said, it's very similar to the first round. But this time they are requiring that this is uploaded, and it is that every lender is asking these questions, and that this particular form will be sent in. So again, guys, go ahead and reach out to your lenders and banks to see if they've started processing these PPP applications, because I know that several banks have started, and I am looking forward to working with any of you. Contact me, ask me questions, and let me know what you think. Or let me know if you have any questions about the process that I have not clarified here. You really won't know your struggles until you get into your application. But you need to have your financials ready. Have your Schedule C's ready if you're independent contractors. Have your certificate of incorporations ready. Have a blank voided check ready. Do not attempt to get a PPP loan and put it in your personal bank account. That's just not how it works. You know, you're talking about a business here. If you do get the money and you want to transfer it into a different account, you want to be able to let the SBA or your lender or your bank know that you want to transfer it. I mean, there's just so many different ways. The best thing you can do is be as clear and concise as possible with those who give you the money. All right. So until next time, guys, I didn't say this in the beginning, but I'm saying it now. Y'all know I love to say it. Click subscribe, hit the like, hit the share, and we will continue tomorrow. All right. God bless.